Hi, beautiful people. So today I've been thinking about something which was spurred on by my ADHD group on Facebook. Amazing group, got like 20,000 people in it and it's growing every day. But a man wrote in there something like, why don't people open up? And another guy, this guy responds like he's speaking from my soul for some reason. Everything he says I completely relate to. If there's a type of ADHD, we're somewhere very similar on the spectrum. Anyway, he responded with, sometimes ADHD people just get sick of explaining themselves and explaining the same story over and over again, so that's why we don't open up. Do you know what? That really hit a nerve with me, because I thought, at times in my life, I've had so many problems, so many issues, and so much to talk about. I've had a lot of trauma in my life without harping on. But when people ask me how I feel, my answer is always yes, I'm fine. If I meet new people, they're like, tell me about yourself. And I'm like, well, there's not really much to say. Although there's a shitload to say. And I bet you there's quite a lot more than your average Joe has to say. But I don't say anything. And I think the reason is I'm so sick of explaining my life to so many people. I've explained it to my family, to my friends, to my therapist. Every time I've had an issue in my life, I've explained it and explained it and explained it till I'm blue in the face to everybody around me. And I think maybe I'm just burnt out of going through the same story with different people all of the time. It just feels like a lot. So when someone asks me, are you okay? Or, tell me about your life, I say, oh, there's not much to say, because I cannot be bothered to start from the beginning because it's so long. Also, what if I get caught away through and my social battery dies, which is quite possible. So I could be like, this happened, and then I got hit by a car, and then my social battery might just die, and then they want to know the rest of the conversation, and I just don't have the energy for that shit right now. So that could be another reason. Another reason could be that we've explained it to so many people before and they haven't understood it correctly, so we've had to explain it again and again, and sometimes people get peed off with our answers. Maybe I've had bad reactions from people when I've explained my story before, so maybe now I just keep it insular and I keep it to myself, because that's like the power that I've got left. I think as well is the pressure to perform vulnerability. Everyone always says talking makes everyone feel better and how emotional sharing makes everyone feel better. But for me, I think it just drains the energy. I used to be able to talk about my problems until I was blue in the face. But now I could not think of anything worse than opening up to someone. Even when it comes to relationships and stuff, I'm single and I would never want to meet someone, not just because I can't stand the way people breathe. No, I'm joking. But I would never want to meet someone because I'd have to start the whole process of getting to know you all over again, and I can't be bothered to talk about what dog I had when I was 5 years old and what's my favourite colour and where. I just can't. I've gone through this story so many times in my life and I don't want to keep reliving it. Sometimes it's not that I can't open up, it's just that I don't have the energy to carry the conversation that comes with it. And sometimes there's a lot of conversations that come with each of them things that I'm going to talk about. So, if I talked about trauma from childhood, or if I talk about, something else, and then I have to get into the conversation, and I don't sometimes have enough social battery to carry me through that. I can't be bothered to talk about it. I could end up running out of energy mid-conversation. And it just feels impossible, like emotional labour or just retelling the same story again and again. And that's why sometimes I just summarise very quick points. It also could be trust fatigue. And I think that's why surface level connections sometimes just feel so much easier. That's why I can't be bothered to meet new friends. Or sometimes now I don't mask. Someone's like, oh, we've just met and how are you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. You know what? I actually don't really like to talk because I can't be bothered. My social battery gets drained. Literally, that's what I'm like nowadays. I do not mask anymore. I went to my mum's hen party. Yeah, it's a plot twist. My mum got married at 70 to my dad, actually. Funny scenario after 40 something years of being together, and I don't go to any family things because I used to go to a lot of family functions, and to get through it I'd get ridiculously drunk and embarrass myself and embarrass my children and embarrass everyone around me. And then I just thought, you know what, I can't do that anymore, so I'm not going to go at all. So for the first time in about a decade I went to a family thing, which was my mum's hen party, and when everyone was like, oh my god, Ellie, where have you been? We've not seen you for a decade. You're like the missing person in our family. I was like, do you know what, guys? Not gonna lie, don't drink anymore and I can't mask anymore. I just don't have the ability to do it. So when someone wants to make small talk with me, I just can't do it. I said, I'm autistic, I accept it. And yes, I will come to things, but I will leave when I want also. So when it got to like 10 o'clock and everyone like got rowdy and they were all like singing and drinking and dancing, I sat and watched them for a while. I loved it. I love watching people having fun. But I thought, you know what? Social battery, dead. And I'm going home. And I got in my car that I parked outside. And I went home and I felt absolutely great. And when everyone was like, no, stay, Ellie, where you going? You used to be the life. And so I'd be like, mate, I'm autistic and I don't mask anymore. And honestly, it was like one of the most freeing things I've ever felt. And I think that's the thing now. I have the ability to be honest, where before I'd fake it and I'd talk too much and I'd make shit up. And now I can just be like, do you know what? We've just met, but I can't be bothered to tell you my full life story. And people think, what the hell? Why is she being so honest? Or why is she being so quirky? Or why is she being so rude sometimes? But actually, I've spent so many years masking and trying to be sociable Sally. I just can't do it anymore. I have to be honest with you, and I have to be honest for my own self. I can't be asked. I'm done. I've tried for, since I've been born, I've tried for 40 years and it burnt me out. And now you take me as I am or you leave me in the nicest possible way as well, because, I would do anything for everyone. I think I'm an okay person, and I give everyone every time of day, and I want to hear everyone's story and I want to talk to everyone, but I just can't be bothered to talk about me anymore. I'm just done. So I wondered if everyone else has that same situation. It's just that I don't not want connection. I just don't want to reintroduce my entire existence every time anymore. And I don't want to explain myself anymore because I've been misunderstood repeatedly. It's exhausting clarifying your intentions, justifying your personality. So many times I've just been misread in the past because I'm neurodivergent. And I'm just going to let go of trying to explain how I am and trying to be fully understood, because no one is going to fully understand me, not even ADHD people, because I'm not necessarily on the same spectrum as them. It's such a massive spectrum. I could be somewhere completely different. Just talking about my life and my past feels like a chore. And actually, that's ironic because now I do a podcast. I like to come out with funny little anecdotes now and again because I can relate to people and I want people to feel seen and I want people to feel related to. But I just can't be bothered to talk about it in depth anymore. I think this is my coping mechanism, having a podcast, telling funny little stories now and again, relating to people, and then switching off again. It's one of the only things that doesn't kill my social battery. If you got to the end of this podcast, I salute you and congratulate you. If you related to this, thank the Lord I'm not the only one. Thank you for having me, guys. You've been splendid. Splendid? Do I even say that? Thanks, guys.